In section 7 of chapter 1, we're going to do multiplying and dividing real numbers. Now, in this section, we'll go over many of the rules involved here. Actually, some were mentioned earlier, but here is where we're going to take a look at them. Multiplying real numbers, the reciprocal, another key word. We did use that earlier. Dividing real numbers, evaluating expressions using real numbers and order of operation, solve applications involving multiplication or division of real numbers. Okay. So as we start, we're going to take a look at some of the basic rules. Now, pretty generally, if you have a positive number that you're multiplying to another positive number, the answer will be positive. If you have a negative number multiplied by a negative number, the answer is positive. So what we're saying here, if the signs are the same, that is, like signs, the results are positive. Now, if one is positive and one is negative, then the results are always negative. And you could flip this around the other way here. Okay, so a strategy in doing these would be, at first, determine what signs the answer will be. So you look at the signs. Here we have a negative and a positive. So this answer is going to be negative. A negative and a negative. So this answer is going to be positive. A negative and a positive. So this will be negative. Now, if you have a string of factors like this, how many negative signs do you have? Well, 1, 2, 3. 3 is an odd number. So, when you have an odd number of negative signs, the answer is going to be negative. Now, this is a little tricky here in terms of the sign, because the negative sign is not included in the base. The base is only the 8. So we're going to square this, get 64, and then apply the negative sign. So this one's a little tricky. Now here, the negative sign is included in the base. So it's going to be a negative 7 times a negative 7, or the negative is used twice. So 2 negatives here. Our sign will be a positive. And that's just going to be 49 then. Now this one's a little tricky. Is the negative sign included in the base? No. So the answer, whatever it is going to end up being negative. Now notice this is an odd number, and the negative sign is included in the base. So this one's going to be negative as well. So again, an important part of your answer is what sign does your answer have? And the rest then is just multiplication. So here this is 30, 33. So in letter C, we've determined the sign. Now let's see what cross canceling we can do. Well, 5 will go into there once, 5 will go into there twice. 3 goes into there once. 3 goes into there 7 times. So now we can't cancel anymore. We multiply the numerators. We get a 2. Our denominators, we get a 7. Now in this case, we've determined the sign. So we're going to go 2 times 5 is 10, times 1 is 10, times 3 is 30. And here we said the answer 1 to the 8th power is 1, and then we applied the negative sign. And here this is going to be an odd power that we're raising a negative to, and 1 to any power is 1. Okay, lots of important strategies here. Even though they weren't too difficult to work with, you needed to know the rules. Okay, and by the way, you can always, pause the tape initially and work these out, or go back, rewind the tape, and look at them again to see if you're getting these answers. And of course, they are down at the bottom of the page. All right, reciprocal. By definition, if you have a number like 3, and remember every whole number is over 1, we don't write it. What do we have to multiply 3 by so that the product is 1? Because that's the definition of a reciprocal. What we have to multiply something by to get a 1 as a product. Well, normally we say just flip this. So this becomes 1 over 3. And then now the 3's cancel out. And your answer is 1. So the short way of looking at this is any reciprocal, you just take the term you have and flip it. So the reciprocal would be 7/3, and that would equal 1. 5 over 1, 1 over 5. Here it's critical. Note the negative sign, because we get a positive 1 when we deal with the reciprocal. So it has to be the same sign. So a negative, so we'll get a positive, and then 21/5, that equals 1. This one, in a sense, is 3 over 10. That's what that equals. Then the reciprocal would be 10 over 3. We don't usually write the reciprocals this way. We use this as our fraction, then this. So again, the product is 1. Now, in topic 3, when we divide real numbers, the rules of the signs that we have apply. If this is a positive and a negative, so the answer will be negative. A negative and a negative, the answer will be positive. A negative and a negative, the answer will be positive. Now, in an earlier lesson, we had this where we said any number divided by 0, we said was undefined. That could be a little tricky one because you're thinking, what sign would it be? Okay, so 3 goes into 27 9 times. 5 goes into 90 18 times. Now, for this one, again, we covered this a little earlier. It's a division of fractions. We know what our n sign is, but what we have to do is change it to multiplication, take the reciprocal of this, and our answer will be, since nothing cancels out, 15/16. Now, in this next part, we're going to do some substitution and then evaluation. So x is 4. So let's set it up. 2 times 4 minus, and then we're going to put a parenthesis, -3 squared. Okay? In fact, let's just stay on this one. So 2 times 4, that's going to be 8, minus, now a -3 squared is going to give you a -3 times -3, a +9. And then that negative sign applies and get a -1 for an answer. In letter B, we have a -2 minus. Now, notice our x is a -4, so we'll put that in a parenthesis. And then we have y, which is 6 minus 5. And it never hurts to check your work. So -2, negative of a -4. Remember, this will become a positive then from an earlier lesson. Then we have y, which is 6 minus 5. Okay. So on our top, we have -2 and a +4. That will give us a +2 over 1. And that just becomes a 2. We don't write it this way. Remember, there is a 1 there. Now for letter C, let's do it down here. We have a -6, x is 5. Notice the use of the parentheses. -4, y we say is a -1, all over -2, z is 0, +3, minus a -10. Okay. So here, this will become a -30. This is a -30. A negative times a negative makes this a positive. And then anything times 0 is 0. So this kind of disappears. This is going to be a +3 here. And the opposite of a negative is a positive. And we have that. So we have here a -26 and a +13. 13 goes into 26. Well, remember the sign will be -2. 13 goes into 26, 2, and a negative divided by a positive gives us a negative. Okay. A weather forecaster predicts that the temperature will drop 4 degrees each hour for the next 7 hours. So 7 hours, it's going to drop 4 degrees. Dropping a degree makes it a negative. Represent the drop as a product of signed numbers and find the total drop in temperature. Okay, that's not too hard. How about a negative 28? And again, they're there. And again, here's something that's, I think, true, that multiplying and dividing is relatively easy. And remember that 0 divided by a number other than 0 is 0, but a number other than 0 divided by 0 is undefined. And remember that this does not equal this. And the reason for it here, your base is only the 5. So this is going to be a negative 25. You square the 5, then apply the negative sign. Here, you're squaring the negative 5, so this becomes a positive 25. Okay, just over 16 minutes.